Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dominic Peterson, aka Doug's on 503, talking all things Oregon football. We're here to recap the Eastern Washington versus Oregon, giving my thoughts and analysis, man, and break it down. Let's get into it, man. The storylines coming into the game of week 2. Oregon coming off a major disappointing loss, 49-3 in Atlanta. Eastern Washington coming off a close win against Tennessee State, 36-29, where their quarterback threw for 300-plus yards, 5 touchdowns, looked really good, while Oregon's defense did not look really good at all, allowed 7 straight scores for Georgia. I mean, I was watching Samford, Georgia a little bit, and Samford was at least able to get Georgia to do 2 field goals in the first half. But, I mean, Georgia did their thing against Samford, and I think Georgia just is the number 1 team in the country. I mean, AP poll just came out. They're now the number 1 team in the country. I think Georgia's just that good. I think they just have that type of roster. The same with Alabama. And, yeah, you've seen it. Seen a lot of upsets this weekend. Man, what a weekend. Notre Dame goes down to Marshall. Big loss for them. Texas A&M loses to App State. I mean, man, it's just crazy from week to week what you can see. And, I mean, we've seen it this week. I was wrong. When I did my preview, I seen what I seen. I'm just going off the field. And, Tennessee, not sure how good they really are. Not sure how good EW is. Kind of hard to get film on them. But, you play the game. They played us pretty good in 2015. Their quarterback looked pretty good. Our pass defense looked really bad. Their tackling looked really bad. So I kind of predicted, not a blowout, but I predicted 48-35. Now, let's go ahead and get into it, One of the biggest things I really wanted to see coming into this week was Lanning's adjustments from week 1 to 2. As a new head coach, we don't know how good this coaching staff really is. So based on what I've seen, what I mean by adjustments, like what is he doing with scheme a little bit to shore up some things? And then what is he doing with, tackling? How well does tackling look? How well do they look physically? Are they looking good conditioned? Are they focused for this game after coming off a big loss? Wanted to see that. And congratulations to Dan Lanning, first win as a head coach. Big win as well, 70-14. That's a way to get your first win. I think playing lower competition definitely helped with better execution on offense and defense as well. Going from national championship, SEC competition from FCS lower division really helped this team. I feel like when you're trying to learn a new scheme, trying to play together for the first time, it's really hard to execute for the first time playing top elite competition. So when you get a warm-up, tune-up game like this, where you're able to kind of athletically dominate the game, just with the athletes you have, you're able to execute what you want to do and see how it's going to work. And when the players see how it works, they're able to buy in a little easier. And as the season goes on, you're going to see this team really pick up the speed. And the offense, let me tell you, it looks good already. I mean, in the first game, of course, we scored three points, but we moved the ball on Georgia, and I'll get to that in a second. But man, really liked how the offensive line played as well. I mean, another great game for the offensive line. 0 sacks allowed for Eastern Washington. I mean, they did not touch Bo Nix. Bo Nix had all day to throw, was scanning the field. Career day for Bo Nix. Went 28 for 33, 277 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Just played phenomenal against lower competition, which is why I kind of predicted in the beginning of the season that I think Bo Nix will have career numbers this year. He did not look good in the first game, and I know Oregon fans were kind of already calling for Ty Thompson. It was like sounding like last year, but I think we got to give Bo a chance. I'm not giving him the pass yet. Playing FCS competition, Eastern Washington doesn't prove anything yet. He's going to have to do it against Pac-12 play and, really prove that he's that guy. But it was awesome, man. And the defense, man. Last game, I was really concerned when I did my preview video. That was my number 1 thing I really wanted to see dominate this game. And in my prediction, I didn't know how much you could fix in 1 week. But Lanning's adjustments from week 1 to 2 was great. And I think also coming down from competition really helps. But they just completely shut down Eastern Washington. I mean, I think in the first half, they didn't even have 100 yards of offense after the first half. So it was amazing that what that Oregon defense was doing, and athletically they just really looked good. I really expected a successful pass game against our defense. I didn't know how much you could fix with that secondary and stuff like that in 1 week, but man, they did it. Man, they did it. They did really, really well. Shout out to defense. Shout out to secondary. Really stepped up this game and did exactly what you're supposed to do. Dominate the competition when you're playing lower level like that. You were able to dominate. It was 42-7 at halftime, enough to get some backups in. I mean, we've seen Jay in, we've seen Ty, we even seen the walk-on running back. I'm missing his name right now. Excuse me. I'm sorry for that. I think it's Hassan Ritter is his last name. But man, that spin move, that he did it like a spin move and then dove up in the end zone and towards the end of the game. Man, that was awesome. Not a lot of walk-ons can do that. Man, that was awesome to see. Good to see a lot of guys get some film. Last year playing a lot of close games that shouldn't have been close. A lot of the younger guys didn't get the film they wanted. So it's good to dominate competition and open the home season like that, man. It's really good. BYU, our next opponent, looks really, really good. They got the win against number 9 Baylor at home, 26-20. BYU looked really good. Their kicker did not. So at least we know if we get in a kicking battle with BYU, we kind of have the edge there. But, 26-20, big win for BYU, next opponent. Went to the Eastern Washington game. Shout out the vlog. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check out the vlog. That's on my channel right now. Went with my girl. She got the opportunity to take her to her first game. She loved it. What a great game to go to when they win 70-14, man. It was awesome. And yeah, we partied hard, man. It was awesome. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's break it down. So before the game, I always like to give you some keys to the game, what I think Oregon should do, or some goals they should set before the game for an Oregon victory. Number one I had for this game was pressure the quarterback. Oregon should dominate the line of scrimmage and use that to slow down the pass game. I mean, I really think, and I was right. The athletes across, the field Oregon had were just completely more dominant, faster, stronger. I mean, you go from looking like that in Georgia to dominating the way Georgia did. It looked awesome. At the end of the day, Oregon had only 2 sacks, didn't really get to the quarterback, but I mean, they really just shut down Eastern Washington to drive early. A lot of 3-and-outs. It was awesome. I don't think Eastern Washington got a first down until their 5th drive of the game. So the secondary covered really well as a team. They tackled a lot better. It was really, really impressive showing. Last week they had 29 missed tackles for 379 yards after contact. And then this week they had 2 missed tackles for only 9 yards after contact. So when I'm talking about what I wanted to see with week 1 to 2 adjustments with Lanning, man, he made sure his team could tackle. I think obviously playing lower competition helps with that 100%, but really good to see that how you should win, and they did more than that. It was a complete shutout. And another thing I had is get Bo Nix going early. I think it could do a thing or two to your confidence, not only him but as a team. If you don't get going early and have a fast start, and man, did he get going. He had 28 for 33, 277 yards, 5 touchdowns. It was a career night. He was the first Oregon quarterback to throw for 5 touchdowns since Justin Herbert in 2019. And I think this is really big for Nix heading to the BYU game. I think if he had another struggling game, a lot of the media and Oregon fans are already calling for him to be benched. I mean, this was a big thing. And he comes out and throws 5 touchdowns. And Coach Lanning already said he's our guy. He's our guy for this year. So we're going to have to get behind Nix, man. We're going to have to cheer for him. We're going to have to hope he does well. Now, do I want to see Ty Thompson succeed and be the starter? Of course. I've said it myself plenty of times. I think if Ty Thompson reaches his potential, I think this Oregon team goes from a mid, 9-10 win team to be an elite. I think great quarterback play can make. I mean, we've seen it before at Oregon many times. When you have a great quarterback here at Oregon, you can do big things here. So, I mean, it was really big for the team as well. Confidence going against a good BYU team, you're going to need it. Morale's going to have to be up for that one. You're at home. It's going to be great. You just won your 20th straight victory at home. It was awesome. That was my third. This goes into my third point. Start fast, new team confidence. That's probably the biggest takeaway of this game for me, to be honest. The biggest takeaway is When you start fast like that at home, it just renews your confidence. You got what happened week 1, flush it down the drain. That's great elite team that you just played. Let's see what you can do now against this competition. You did exactly that plus more. It was a complete blowout, 42-7 at halftime. That's like reminded me of the Chip Kelly days, man. It was awesome being at Autzen with a blowout. All right, so let's go ahead and break down what I've seen on the offense and then the defense. I'm going to start out with the defense first and head to the offense. I always like to take notes on certain things I like to see. I like to start out with the defense because I called them out after week 1. I was like, I don't know how much you can fix week 1. I think it's going to take some time with this defense. I think it's going to get better, but it was a bad showing, really bad showing. I mean, you were expected to compete in that game, and the offense didn't help you out. Obviously, Bo Nix, 2 turnovers, but the defense couldn't stop the thing. I mean, and Georgia was having long drives, so it was bad, and I had a lot of question marks. Then when you're looking at Eastern Washington's last game, I mean, they had Gunnar Talkington threw for over 300 yards, 5 touchdowns in week 1, and it just kind of worried me a little bit. I thought that Eastern Washington would have a little bit of success, but that's not what happened. Eastern Washington finished with only 87 yards passing, and Oregon finished with 2 interceptions in the stat line there. Just a great showing from the secondary. Shout out Coach Meat Yee for getting his guys ready for this one, man. This was the least amount of passing yards for an Oregon opponent since Wyoming in 2017. Eastern Washington only had 187 yards of total offense. It was their first time holding an opponent under 200 total yards since Washington State in November 2021. Overall, I love the cleanup on defense. Guys were in the right position. They were getting off the field on 3rd down. That was really big. That's one big thing I'll be watching all season because last season Oregon really struggled to get off the field on 3rd down, one of the worst in the nation at that stat. And today they really got off 3rd down, 5 of 13 on 3rd down for Eastern Washington. Now, of course, 5 is a little bit too much for what I want to see. I want to see 0 for 13, but hey, man, progression. 5 of 13 is great. All right, the offense, man. The offense was the thing of the day to talk about, man. They were moving it. They were making plays, insane catches. Let's talk about it, man. Oregon scored a touchdown on every drive in the first half. So the first half completely dominant. Every time they had the ball, they scored. Scored on the first 10 possessions of the game. Now, you want to talk about bad defense. I mean, Oregon allowed the first 7 possessions of touchdowns of the game. East Washington's allowed 10. Another really cool thing to see was Cam McCormick scored a touchdown with Spencer Webb's number 18. Man, RIP Spencer Webb, you know what it is. Scored a touchdown for the first time in 5 years, y'all. Give it up for Cam McCormick, man. Shout out Cam. Love to see it. Another thing, Oregon really moved the ball at an elite level. I mean, really good. Oregon broke a program record with 40 first downs. I mean, they even moved it against an elite defense in Georgia, man. I mean, Georgia, they only allowed 9 first downs in 2021 on average. Last season with that crazy defense they had last season, they were only letting opponents get 9 first downs. Oregon had 21 first downs in week 1. Now they're getting 40 in week 2. I mean, one thing that we're seeing with this Oregon offense is that they're utilizing their guys. They're getting guys in space. They're getting guys open, and they're getting it down the field, and they're opening it up. And I love to see it. And that's getting us first downs. It's working. So, week 1, we just couldn't get the key possessions we needed. Key 3rd down, bad turnovers early on. You get in a hole. It was bad week 1, but this is week 2. We've seen a lot of progression. It's really great. Really explosive offense. Like I said, 600 plus yards of offense for Oregon. That's a big number. Chip Kelly style numbers. Exactly what you want to see. Overall, the offense once again moved the ball very well and put up a 70-pointer. Let's go. Exactly what we wanted to see. And I think if we can get this type of Bo Nix every week, I think this Oregon team will be very, very good. Contend for Pac-12 championships and all. I really do. Get to the Rose Bowl. I think we can get this Bo Nix. It'll be good. I don't think Oregon pushed the ball down the field too much. I didn't see a whole bunch of deep shots. A lot of intermediate stuff, a lot of things to the tight end, a lot of comeback routes, out routes, and I think that's what Bo Nix's game is. If you try to make him force throws down the field, that's where he can struggle a little bit, maybe force it a little bit. I also think getting a lead early with this Oregon team is going to be huge for Bo Nix in any game we play. We've got to get that lead early, get the momentum early, because when we get in a hole, I think in his mind, he starts stressing and getting a little bit of anxiety and starting to force things that ain't there. And that's when we see the bad Bo Nix come out. I think that's another important key. And, I think the offensive coordinator, the offensive staff know what Bo Nix is good at. I think they know what he's bad at. I think they can see when he gets stressed out. They can see when he's really feeling it. Kenny Dillingham, he worked with Bo Nix in his freshman year. So I think they really have a good key on Bo Nix, which is another good reason probably why he's the starter. And I think, Ty, I know nobody wants to wait in this day and age, but I think he's taking it very well. I mean, from what I see, he's very upbeat. He's waiting his turn, and he's not saying too much. Now, we could see him transfer. I don't know. I don't know how exactly he's feeling. I haven't talked to him, but I think from what I see, he's waiting his turn. He's learning, and if Bo Nix goes out, he's the next man up. He knows that. So, and we'll keep it seeing. I think for Bo, you're gonna have to keep that intermediate passing, screen passes, quick passes. I'm not saying he can't throw the ball down the field. I think he can make that play, but I like what the offensive staff is doing around Bo Nix. O-line as well was phenomenal for Bo. 0 sacks, gave Bo a lot of time to scan the field, make his decision, and O-line once again looking real good, taking the game over. All right, final thoughts and analysis of the game. We really seen a good Bo Nix. I kind of just covered that. Oregon has really good skill players around Bo Nix as well, really taking advantage of them too. We've seen Troy Franklin, Terrence Ferguson, Sean Dollars, Dante Thornton all really shine this game. I mean, they were looking really good, especially Terrence Ferguson with that crazy bobble catch. We're seeing, Troy Franklin make guys miss, get to the end zone. Oh, man, it was looking good. Again, though, I don't want Oregon fans to get too hyped up. It is Eastern Washington. We'll have to wait and see how this team does against quality competition. Okay, we've seen how they did against elite competition, and they don't belong in that conversation. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. As much as I want them to compete for national championships, they're just not there yet. But are they a bad team? No. I mean, we can definitely get to the Rose Bowl, compete for Pac-12 championships, stuff like that. We're not a write-off yet, and we got good competition coming soon. I think for this game, this is the best possible outcome that you could have had. I mean, there are a lot of question marks for me personally as well. I mean, I'll be the first to say it. I didn't know if this was going to be a dominant performance. I thought Eastern Washington offense could probably move the ball a little bit better, but they just didn't look like a good team. I mean, Gunnar Talkington looked a lot better in week 1 than he did today. He missed a lot of balls. I mean, wide open guys, and it was just not a good showing for Eastern Washington. This makes Oregon's 20th win in a row. Keep packing Autzen, keep making it loud, and let's go Ducks. It's going to be awesome next week, man. It's going to be great atmosphere. BYU beat Baylor. They're coming off a high emotional win. They went 5-0 against the Pac-12 last year. That team that went 5-0 against the Pac-12, including a win against Utah, returns 86% of their starters from that last team, man. They're a veteran team. It's ain't going to be their first time playing in a loud stadium. So it's going to be great. And then the week after that, watch out. I mean, Ducks are going to have to be ready. Washington State beat Wisconsin on the road. Wisconsin ranked number 19 last week. Lost at home 17-14 in a close game. But I told you guys, when I did my predictions, a lot of people laughed at me when I said Washington State might finish second in the Pac-12 North. I had Oregon and Washington State, and in my early season record predictions, I chose Washington State to upset Oregon because it's early in the season. They could do a lot of things that exposes Oregon's weaknesses. Their secondary. Now they looked really good against Eastern Washington, but given it's a mid-FCS team, I mean, that team, they're probably not even going to win 8, 9, 10 games in the FCS level. I mean, they're a mid-FCS team, and that's what Oregon's supposed to do, and I'm glad they did it. So it gives them a lot of confidence heading into BYU. I'll be at that game. If you guys see me, say what's up. I'm in section 36, row 80. You know where I'm at if you guys want to say what's up. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. Let's pack Autzen. Going to be a great game. and we're going to beat BYU. I'll have my preview coming out soon as well for BYU. Give my thoughts, my prediction for that game, and be on the lookout for that. If you guys can like the video for me, subscribe, join the Doug Zone family. If you're a big Oregon fan, if you're just a college football fan, I also like to talk a little national college football as well. Go ahead and subscribe to Scoop Duck. I'm a writer for Scoop Duck. I cover recruiting for them. I have a lot of recruiting interviews on this channel as well for a lot of recruits that Oregon's offering. Took a recent visit, stuff like that. So if you guys like all things Oregon, man, go ahead and smash the subscribe button, smash the like, hit the share button as well. I'm really trying to grow this channel. We just hit 300 subscribers. So, man, looking forward to growing with you guys. The games have been awesome so far, man. BYU's next. As always, go Ducks.